This is my cell phone, and I take it everywhere with me, literally everywhere. But ever since I was young, I've had this curiosity on what it would be like to live without a phone. And of course, every time I got close to ever following through with it, I would back out. I would give myself every excuse to keep it next to me everywhere I went. And honestly, I thought I was gonna live with my phone by my side until the day I died. And if it wasn't for a really shitty human being in Bali, I probably would have. And as upset as I was right when it happened, I looked at it as an opportunity to change my perspective on cell phones in general. And I really just wanted to share my journey with you. So now, without any further ado, here is me living life for 30 days without a phone. So day number one's findings were that everything revolves around a phone and a phone number, and also there's so many things that you don't necessarily even think about that revolve around your phone. And for me, that finding was actually dealing with my online banking and just going to reset those passwords so that I could access them on my computer. Literally wasn't possible without a phone number. It was asking me to basically verify myself through my phone number, or if I wanted to do it a different way, I had to still give a phone number. Like if I didn't have Tessa's phone here, I would not have been able to deal with my online banking. I don't know how I would have done it with my laptop. I would have had to go ask somebody else who has a phone, and even then it's like if you're constantly asking somebody else for a phone, you need a phone. Anyways, that's day number one, findings. Day two, something I've noticed since not having a phone is that I'm focusing on the things that I genuinely want to focus on, and it's really making me think in different ways. It's making me acknowledge different things that I haven't thought about before, and I'm starting to learn more about myself, learn about how much time I actually wasted previously, about how I would escape certain feelings, how I would escape certain scenarios and situations, and now I'm forced to actually just sit in them and work through them, grow through them, and turn to something that is going to be a little bit different, which is either a book or a journal or learning something new that I want to learn. I'm not sitting in this moment of stimulation constantly of just scrolling for no apparent reason. Ultimately, I think taking a step back and taking a step away from your phone, from social media, can be such a benefit, and that's really just what I'm learning on day two. So day two, what a day. So today there's literally no room for error, and I acknowledge how important and how helpful a phone would have been today, because I have to head to the passport office, and before going I realized that I needed to have both the address of where this passport is getting sent to. Also, I had to have the address of where I'm actually living so the new one can get sent to me, and I also had to figure out how to get there and all the directions on how to get there, because if not, I'm not going to get there. And none of this is going to be possible, and I'm going to have to come back to my home so that I can look at my laptop again. And it's just a gong show, it actually is. And I have like pieces of paper that I wrote down the addresses on, and phone numbers and all that stuff. So this is just a challenge. It really is a challenge. Day four. So my biggest fear came true. I went the exact wrong way. My day 7 realizations, aside from the fact that I still struggle to video like this, is that I actually almost feel a sense of frustration towards people that don't, or that do have phones, which is like a crazy thing. But let me explain this. When people ask me to do certain things, or ask certain things of me, or ask me to go certain places, or do whatever it is, they don't fully understand what it means and what it's like to not have a phone. So then that poises a sense of frustration onto myself. This is extremely toxic, because there's no reason for me to feel negatively towards people for not understanding my situation, not understanding what it's actually like to not have a phone. And it comes down to all these different little things where I am just expecting everyone to understand what I'm encountering, and that's just not fair. They don't understand what it's like to not have a phone. They don't understand what it's like to not have a phone in this day and age, and it's just not fair. Day 13 in the gym. And the biggest thing that I'm realizing is that not having a phone means that every single last one of my workouts has to be without music, without a podcast, without anything. And also, I can't film any forms of content here other than on a camera. So that kind of sucks. Okay, so it's day 14 and I'm at a beach club right now, but actually Tessa realized this and I need to relay this because it's so true, but the amount of people that are on their phones and scrolling on their phones and not actually taking in this incredible view and literally this whole entire place is insane. And it's one of those things where not having my phone really makes me grateful for the fact that I am enjoying every last inch of this place and I am not sitting here scrolling, I'm not looking at stuff that's not right now, which is so freaking cool, and I think that's a huge takeaway. Okay, it is day 15 of the challenge, which means that we are halfway there. 15 days, that is a long time to go without a phone and to manage through life without a phone, but I'm not gonna lie, I haven't noticed these big drastic changes. I haven't noticed myself ever really needing or longing for a phone, which is kind of crazy. And also, now that we're already halfway, I'm also feeling kind of sad and upset because I know that this challenge is going to be over before I know it, and I know that I'm going to have a phone back in my hands before I know it. And to me, that kind of sucks because I'm really enjoying this type of lifestyle, but it also is, again, showing me balance and showing me the things that I value, the things that I obviously wish that I had with a phone, and the things that I'm glad that I don't have, so that when I do have it, I'm not gonna act this certain way. So overall, it is exciting. It's exciting to be on day 15, but at the same time, it's a little bittersweet, I would say. Day 19 of not having a phone, and today's realization is a little bit on the sad end, and it's that I actually miss just grabbing my phone, putting in headphones and listening to music. And I know it's possible to do it with a computer, but with a phone, it's just like the accessibility to go anywhere, do anything, and also just to carry it, listen to music, and just like a little thing that I'm missing for sure today. So anyways, day 19. Day 26. I'm actually pretty used to not having a phone. Like quite used to not having a phone. Everything in my everyday life has now just become ordinary without a phone, and there's never times that I'm ever like reaching for a phone. Obviously there's still those little things when I'm like, it would be super nice to have a phone right now. It would be super nice to be able to post something on social media for the people that are watching, or to literally be able to search up directions, to be able to search any little thing up. But overall, like, it's very manageable, very easy to go about my everyday life right now without a phone. But still, there's like the little things where now I'm shifting, and instead of looking at a phone in a negative way, I'm more so looking at it as like a positive thing. And I'm realizing the positive benefits that you can actually reap from having a phone. So that is my day 26 realization. Day 28. And this realization was actually a massive one for me, and something that I haven't even really acknowledged throughout the whole entire time. And it's that when I wake up in the morning, my thoughts, the way that I go into the day, everything is solely based off of myself. So when I wake up, it's me. My choices that I make is based off of me. The ways that I feel, the thoughts that are running through my brain, everything is based solely off of myself. And it's not grabbing my phone, procrastinating in the morning, doing anything. Like when I'm in bed and I'm laying in bed, I'm simply laying in bed. Or if I'm getting up and going off to do something, it is based on what I want to do in that moment. And I think that's something I've not neglected over the course of time, but something that I used to really struggle with was kind of, you go through the cycles and you would grab your phone, you would look at your phone, and now without the option to do that, I noticed obviously just like how much more productive I am in the mornings, and also just like how intentional I am with the things that I do. So that's a pretty cool one for day 28. Anyways, it's coming up fast. The end is like fastly approaching. This has been a cool little experience though, to say the least. All right, it is the final day, which is day 30, and I'm gonna be very transparent. This is actually like day 65. And I know that sounds crazy, and I know you're probably curious why I said 30 days without a phone, and ultimately it was seriously just to show everyone a challenge that can be done. This challenge was, as I said before, the coolest challenge I've ever done in my life, and as crazy as it sounds, not having my phone next to me for the past 60 days has actually allowed me to really key in and identify what I want to do with my life. It's allowed me to see the things that I am really passionate about, the things that I actually want to bring into my life, rather than the things that I'm chasing because I saw it on somebody else's social media or through someone else. And I also noticed that I just stopped going on social media as much, because without a phone, without it attached to your hip, you ultimately are making time to go on social media. So when you go on social media, you don't want to sit there for 20 minutes scrolling on your laptop. And if you go into social media, it's more so of just like a checkup or to post something. And that's one of the very cool things. But again, there's also so many negative things that came from not having a phone. I realized that I needed a phone to go anywhere and to do anything. And if it wasn't for Tessa, I would not have done any of the things that I've done. We would not have found our way, or if we did, it would have taken 5 ever, like literally 4 ever. And that is one of the big benefits. And I think we always do look at phones, and this is myself included, we always have so many negative things to say about them. But in reality, they were created for a reason. And I noticed the reason that they were created for recently, and I had to really see how much I appreciated a phone. I had to see what I wanted to utilize a phone for. And I realized that I don't want to go on my phone to scroll and to do meaningless tasks. I want to use it as a tool, and the tool that it was actually created for. You don't need to go off social media forever. You don't need to go off your phone forever. You don't have to do it for a day. It's ultimately just being conscious, being aware of yourself and how you feel when you go on your phone and how much you're going on your phone. And I noticed that I needed to step away from my phone for a while, and to step away from all the pressure of a phone and from all the influence behind a phone, and actually just live life and see life for what it is, and also see myself for what I am. Being at the dinner table and not looking at my phone, or having a morning coffee and simply reading a book and doing all the little tasks. Those are the things that made my life so meaningful over the past 2 months, and ultimately are the things that I'm going to carry on even when I get a phone again. So with full transparency, I was actually traveling while I did this challenge, and it was a lot easier to do there than it is back home. And I was thinking about it recently, if I could do it back home, and I'm not fully convinced that I could. I see how difficult it really is to step away from your phone for 1 day, let alone 30. And especially when you have obligations and you have places to be, you have people that honestly might need to get a hold of you for very legitimate purposes. So for me to say that everyone can do this, it's not true, and I know that, but I really do suggest that you try to step away from your phone for a little bit, leave it at home every once in a while, and really just test yourself. See what life is like without a phone for a little bit, and I'm sure you'll be surprised, and I'm sure you'll get a lot of answers that you might be searching for, or that you might not even know that you needed. That's that.